at this point, there's not a specific crime that's been committed. And
so is it time to drop it, Congressman? Is it I got it based on what you're saying? Is it time to drop it?
I don't know if it's times right now, but I do think we're probably nearing the conclusion of this investigation.
Republican Don Bacon is admitting there's no evidence that Joe Biden committed any high crime or misdemeanor. It doesn't make any sense for criminal charges. It doesn't make any sense for impeachment. The dominoes are now starting to fall. And whether they will eventually all publicly say, we're not going to impeach the guy, I don't know. In fundraising communications, some Republicans are already admitting they're not going to impeach Joe Biden, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Over the weekend, this is Republican Congressman Don Bacon joining NBC News' Kristen Welker and saying, I said I would look at this. To impeach, you need a high crime or misdemeanor. We don't have any high crime or misdemeanor. Good for him for being honest, at least. Take a listen.
Bunch more to get to. So let me turn to impeachment.
Right.
You said back in December, quote, once we realize there's not a high crime or misdemeanor, we should move on. Has that moment come in your view?
Well, right now, the lawyers in the committee that I talked to say there's not a specific crime, and you need that for a high crime or misdemeanor.
Now, by the way, it's funny that he needed to talk to lawyers to figure that out, because even when you ask those who are convinced there's crimes, even they can't tell you what crimes were committed. So it's funny. I'll check with a lawyer, but I don't even hear from my colleagues what the crimes are that have been committed.
I think the investigation it merited an investigation, put the facts out, let the public look at it, make a determination. And I think it's good to be transparent, especially we're in an election year. So let's put the facts out on the table. But when I talk to the lawyers on the committee staff, they say at this point, there's not a specific crime that's been committed. And
so is it time to drop it, Congressman? Is it? I got it based on what you're saying. Is it time to drop it?
I don't know if it's times right now, but I do think we're probably nearing the conclusion of this investigation.
Yeah.
And I think it was important for the American people to see that, yes, there was $24 million in foreign money that the family raised, and all the Hutton LLCs that the money was moved around in.
Hutton LLC. I like that. Not hidden. Hutton LLCs. Listen, when you are told there isn't a specific crime, you don't really need the word specific, right? It's like there's a broad crime. There's a broad crime we can't quite name, and that's not anywhere in the criminal code. It's a general crime. Oh, but do you have a specific crime? No, it's not a specific crime. It's just like it's overarching crime. He could just as well have said, the lawyers have told me there is no crime, no specific crime. There is no crime. It's been 14, 15, 16 months of this investigation formally and years informally. And what this investigation seems to have accomplished is to completely clear Joe Biden. 40 years in public service, supposedly some kind of mafia boss style leader, while at the same time being so demented he doesn't know what day it is. And they can't find a single specific or general crime. When will it publicly end? I think we all know the answer. It won't publicly and officially end until after the election. But if you look at what they're saying in fundraising emails, you know they know it's over. James Comer, we talked about this before, James Comer, who runs these investigations, runs some of the committees, publicly says, we've got bribery, we've got this, we've got that. In private fundraising emails, he's already saying the impeachment is not going to work. Even if we impeach Biden, Democrats in the Senate won't convict. Let's do criminal referrals. Send me some money to make sure I get reelected and I can make that happen in the next presidential term. So in private, they may have known from the beginning there was nothing here. They certainly know it now. They're starting to admit it to their donors. Publicly, Don Bacon still says, well, I don't know about ending it, but we're certainly not finding any crime. So we will just wait and see. It's starting now as we get closer to the summer and closer to the conventions. It's starting to become the sort of thing that could start turning voters off because it's so brazenly transparent and overtly political with zero substance whatsoever. It may start hurting Republicans. That's the one thing that could get them to publicly say it's over. Now we're going to get focused on fixing the economy, which is doing quite well, fixing crime, which is down, fabricating other issues rather than Biden's a criminal. We'll watch it closely. We'll take a break. And speaking of crime, we'll talk about that next.
I've had such trouble finding a great razor where I am not cutting myself or getting those nicks on my skin, which are so common with the cheap disposable razors. You have to meet our sponsor, Henson Shaving. Henson actually manufactures parts for the International Space Station and the Mars rover, and they are bringing that exact same precision engineering to the shaving experience. It hurts when you shave because blades extend too far and thus they wobble slightly. But with their aerospace grade CNC machines, Henson is able to make metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches. That's less than the thickness of a human hair, which means a secure, stable blade with a vibration-free shave. It also has built-in channels to evacuate the hair and the cream. No more clogs, no more rubbing your thumb on the razor to get the hair out. I use Henson at home. Shaving is a great experience now. Henson wants to be the best razor, not the best razor business, which means you only need to buy it once and it's awesome. Go to hensonshaving.com/Pacman, add a razor and a 100-pack of blades to your cart, then enter the code Pacman to get the 100 blades for free. That is a 3-year supply. The link is down below.